What's up, guys? Hey, everyone. How are you all doing? I hope everyone has been great. I hope you all have had an amazing week. Oh my God. Before I even begin this podcast, this week it's been shambles. Like, procrastination has been on high levels. I haven't been doing what I said I was gonna do. I was to drop this episode as usual on Monday, but still I was also having thoughts of changing the dates from Mondays to Wednesdays. But yeah, Mondays to Wednesday, but still, regardless, today is Saturday and I had to re-record the podcast again and again. But we're here now. We're not gonna beat ourselves up, but we're gonna take the L for this week, But I hope this doesn't happen again because it's been crazy. It's been so crazy with the procrastination, with not feeling like doing things I should be doing, like, for example, showing up for myself. Like, in terms of gym, I haven't even been going to the gym as well. Jesus. But anyway, we dust off and move on, right? Sometimes life comes with so many ups and downs that there will be time you just have to adjust things. You just have to start, restart, refocus, refresh and start again. We are all allowed to rest. We're all allowed to take days to recharge our minds and bodies and soul. But in my case, that was not recharging. That was being lazy and procrastinating and okay, we move on, right? And yeah, I hope you guys have been good. I hope you've had a good week. And you're all showing up for yourself. You're thriving. And yeah, for me, other than the procrastination thing, life has been good. Every day I just keep reminding myself, like, to live a life of gratitude, because it's very easy for us to live a life of worry and forget that we are actually living in some, if not all, our answered prayers, right? Sometimes we spend too much time stressing and planning the future and stressing on what we don't have instead of living every day in gratitude and being present. I hope this is a reminder to you to just enjoy, to soak in fully, every minute of your today, and just let go of tomorrow's fear, okay? I hope you take that word for the weekend and the week and your life. Also, recently I had this eye-opening encounter, also real life experience kind of thing that happened to me that made me like, whoa, and I decided to share it today as today's topic, because at the end of the day, I created this podcast to impact, to also be an outlet for growth and sharing life experiences as a whole, to learn from and also give insights, right? And I hope that today's thoughts click with you as well. And it's about how sometimes we can be present but not present at the same time. And most of the time, there's so much unspoken things behind that. You find like you're living with someone, you guys are okay, everything is good, life is flowing well, but still there is a gap. There's still a gap between you guys. And it's crazy because sometimes even maybe the other person is going through stuff, maybe through thoughts, or maybe they need more loving, they need more reassurance, they need you to see them, to appreciate them more. But sometimes it's hard for the person to voice it, but you have to take on the cues, because there's always cues when we humans change, when we humans were going through something, right? But sometimes it's very easy to overlook those cues, like, for example, let me give you an example. Sometimes someone is going through stuff, sometimes someone is going through a lot, and you just want an outlet to just express your feelings, express your emotions. You don't even need solutions. But then when you tell the other person, they are busy offering solution, busy whatever, and at the end of the day you feel like, I don't feel listened to, you didn't hear me out, And it's easy for us to overlook such things, because most of the time, if we don't communicate, if you don't express ourselves, the other person maybe won't notice such things. Another instance is maybe in relationship, in friendships, in parent to child relationship. Sometimes maybe your significant other, maybe they need reassurance, maybe they need more loving, more appreciation, more like see me, more to be treated like a king, queen, but we won't know that, and maybe that may make the other person not feel seen, withdraw, or you know what can happen. I personally have been in this situation where I presumed everything was okay and I was just living and letting each day pass, knowing, oh, all's good, But the other party, they didn't feel like their needs were being met until we had the conversation to address the elephant in the room, because at the end of the day, the signs started showing, and until they expressed how they felt in certain situations where maybe I didn't show up for them as they would have wanted me to, or as I was supposed to, or even things that I did with no ill intention, but they affected the other person somehow, But that thing really hit me so hard because I wasn't fair to the other person and I overlooked a lot of things that I shouldn't have. And it made me think like, ooh, how many people are like thinking everything is okay, whatnot. You're there doing your best and all that, but the person doesn't feel like their needs are still being met. And it confirms the statement that there's so much in the unspoken, that it doesn't have, like everything doesn't have to be expressed by words, but there's so much that can be expressed where there's no words, There's a lot to listen to, even when words are not being involved. And sometimes it's easy to overlook that, Like, for example, let's give an example like of our old folks and older generation and their upbringing. In their upbringing, for example, you'll find like maybe the parent like is providing rent, is giving you allowances, putting food on the table, sending you to school, all that stuff. But there was nothing like, I'm proud of you, son. I see you. You're doing so well. I'm rooting for you. And maybe the kid, they wanted to just feel reassurance. They wanted to feel their parents' support. But the parents think like, oh, I'm showing my support by doing all these things, But maybe the kid didn't feel that. Maybe there's still that gap of feeling like the parent was absent emotionally, and that still happens now. You find like you're working so hard to provide for your kids, to provide for your family, to provide for the people you love and all that stuff, but when there's no like maybe emotional I don't know, like output, sometimes it can also create a gap and all that stuff, because there's a lot of unhappiness, divisions, misunderstandings, loneliness that has come into people's lives because of things that have been left unsaid or cues that were missed. There are a lot of things that we do unconsciously that we deem okay and maybe not a big deal, or even don't think they have effects on the people around us, but they really do. So I came to realize like sometimes these little things that we do, like for example, you've agreed to watch a movie with someone and 60% of the time you're just checking your phone. The other person may feel like you're not fully present. It's as little as sometimes maybe someone has cooked for you a meal, they've bought you something, they've done everything for you, they've made you feel special, but for you got in the comfort of, I did that, like you get in the comfort of like, oh, you're used to that already, like, oh, it's like now you've made it like, oh, a kawaida thing, like it's a usual thing, but the other person may want to be appreciated, may want their efforts to be appreciated. You're there like, oh, thank you, like, and move past it, but the other person has maybe spent an hour or so making that beautiful meal for you. But you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is like there's so much that we don't communicate, there's so much in the unspoken that sometimes we just overlook, and it can cause a lot of stuff. The other person maybe starts withdrawing, maybe doesn't feel like appreciated enough in their own home. Sometimes let's not be just on the receiving end all the time. Do something for the other person, make them feel loved, make them see, make them feel seen and stuff. At the end of the day, we're all a work in progress. I too, I'm still learning all these things as they come, and the best we can do is just accept and try to do better, because there's a lot in there and say, and it's not always that we're gonna catch the memo. We're gonna catch the cues, and that's why communication is such a much important in capital and needed in capital tool to sail the boat of relationships, parenthood, whatnot. And sometimes we're not gonna understand what the person needs in their season or in the day they're having, not even season, in the day they're having. And that's why it's important to even say, like, hey, my battery is really low today. I don't think I have the capacity to show up as my best self today. So give me grace today, or give me a little more love, or give me space, or I've had such a horrible, hard day, and my emotions are all over the place, and I'm sorry if I come out moody. I'm sorry if I don't show up fully for you, or express that today you want to be treated this way, you want to feel this special. Because let's normalize such statements, because sometimes you might think like, oh, this person is moody, this person is whatever, this person doesn't like me, or this person no longer has feelings for me, or doesn't see me and stuff. But it's just those unsaid words that could have made the situation different, that could have made, like, maybe the showing up from the other person different, and it's okay to be able to express how you're feeling. It's okay to express your needs and wants, because it's only in communication that we can propel forward and be able to allow each other in our worlds. Because I don't know what you're going through. Maybe 20 minutes ago we were laughing and bursting into laughter so hard, but then the next minute you're in your emotional bubble, and I would want to show up for you how you want me to show up to show up for you, So basically my whole message today is like, let's be open, communicate, and also let's stop assuming things, and also let's be able to pick on, the cues of maybe someone's mood is not okay. Maybe the environment in the house has changed, and be able to sometimes be the bigger person and ask what's happening. Like, let's address the elephant in the room, because if you make it like go on for so long, that gap is gonna be wider, bigger and stuff, and maybe by the time you want to fix that, like, it's too late. You guys have already disconnected fully, and let's not overlook and say, in terms of those behavior change, moods, attitude, or any significant change you might notice in person. And also, I know some people are not really good in communication, expressing themselves, and it's okay, but you can always be better, And yeah, sometimes I really do think that there's so many things that can be resolved and avoided if we communicate effectively and intentionally, and allow the people that really care about us into our worlds, because that's the only way we'll know what's going on in your head, what's up with your emotions, because all these emotions, if they're left unresolved, it's gonna lead to distance. It's gonna lead to the person going to maybe seek what is missing, from outside or somewhere else or in other things. And that's how you find maybe some people, like, they have good families, they have people that love them, they have kids, wives, parents and all that stuff, but then there's something missing. Maybe they don't feel appreciated in their own home. Maybe they don't feel seen in their own home. That's why it's okay to give room for dialogue, and let's not assume these things. Let's not assume because, oh, I'm buying meat every day, I'm cooking, I'm doing this, I'm whatever, like, oh, I'm doing everything for you, maybe that person wants you to just hug them. They don't care whether you cook or whatever, they just need a hug. that day, So both parties have a role to play to ensure that y'all don't reach at that point where the gap or distance is already created. But if you're already in that situation, if it's already created in it, how do you work together to resolve the situation? You've got to let the other person in your world, especially if it's people that care about you, be open to expressing how you feel. Communicate, and let's be observant on all those cues that I've said about. I hope I've been able to pass the message correctly, because it really opened and blew my mind so hard. And I've been having this conversation with a lot of people to see, how do you gauge this conversation? Because to me, it was so mind-blowing, that we're there with you, we're there sitting, laughing and whatever, but you still feel like I'm not there, It's crazy. And we continue to learn as humans. We continue to do better, be better, and that's life, That's life, and that's on growth, and it's okay to grow every single day, okay? I hope this episode spoke to you somehow. Again, I apologize for my lazy procrastinating era. This week. But I tried to do a reset yesterday. Tried going to the gym, cleaning the house, making the home. When you have a clean home or a clean space, it at least helps you, mentally to keep going and to show up for yourself in other things, How you do one thing is how you do the other, right? And basically, I don't want to stay in that bubble anymore. I broke it yesterday. I realized no, not for long. And so hope you guys are okay with me dropping an episode on Wednesdays instead of Monday. But you never know. Sometimes I might surprise you with 2 episodes in a week or something. We'll see, You never know what the future holds. But I'm excited for the growth. Still, sometimes it's a slow growth. But for me, it's not a slow growth, because when I compare my first episodes and now, the confidence is coming, okay? And I'm excited really and truly, and I have to show up for myself, and I have to show up for the people who look forward to this episode. Shout out to some of the people that are really close to my heart that always remind me, hey, it's Monday, where is the episode? Thank you for the accountability and stuff, And with that, guys, let me wish you all a blessed, beautiful, I don't know if it's week or weekend, but weekend, and also beautiful week. I'll see you next week on Wednesdays. I hope you'll have a fun and loving weekend. If you're needing to reset and restart, it's okay to restart and refresh as many times, okay? Don't feel guilty about it. And hopefully I'll see you next Wednesday, guys. Subscribe to the channel and like, comment, say what's up, what do you think? And if it's Spotify and Apple Podcasts, just rate the show, guys. Rate the show. Let me know you're rooting for me, and we're getting somewhere and all that stuff. That's on growth, okay? Anyway, have a blessed weekend, guys. And thank you for always returning to my podcast. I really appreciate that a lot. See you next Wednesday. No more procrastination. And everything, we leave it unto God. And we pray for strength always to show up for ourselves and to show up for the things that we said we're going to do, right? Alrighty, thank you. Let me stop talking. That's enough talking, and love you guys and take care. Thank you.